index. And quite frankly, Volusia, we just simply cannot match up to the other counties that have higher wages and that have higher costs of living. So what they do is, instead of giving us more money because we can't keep up, they take money from us. They take 3.5% on every dollar, and they spread it out among the more affluent districts such as Miami-Dade and Collier and Broward and Hillsborough and Duval. All the big cities and counties get our money. Now, there are a lot of districts that also give up money, but Volusia County, just so that everyone understands this, Volusia County loses the most money of any district in the state of Florida. We are dead last, ranked 67th in terms of losing money. We have lost over 10 years nearly $100 million in funding that has been given to all of the other affluent districts that I just mentioned. And that is something that has to change. We have approximately 40,000 people that get into their cars every day and they travel into our neighboring counties. They go on I-4, they go on 95. All of their wages are credited to the county of employment, not to the county of residence. Their children aren't in the back seat of the car being taken to their schools. They are being educated right here in Volusia County, yet the state takes away those funds from us and gives it to those districts.
And we're often, one of the criticisms we hear is that we're compared to Seminole County. 2 points. One, Seminole County is also going for $1 mill. As Robert said earlier, this is not just indicative of a problem that's in Volusia County, but it's statewide. So they're also going for the $1 mill. And also in the same amount of time, the piece of the formula that Robert was talking about, the district cost differential, during that same time frame, Seminole County, nearly the same number of students, just a few thousand more than we have. Of course, they're 1/4 the size we are. I think they're 308 square miles, we're over 1,200 square miles. They've only lost $17 million. We've lost $97 million. So the $80 million extra that they've gotten over that same time frame has allowed them to raise salaries, because they're also the largest employer of Seminole County, just as the Volusia County School District is the largest employer in Volusia County. So it's not apples to apples when you compare the school districts. The one thing we do have in common is that we have nearly the same number of students.
It sounds like they have gained the amount of millions that you guys have lost.
Well, they've lost them too, 17 million.
Yeah.
17 million, but we've lost 97 million, so.
And they don't get our money, it's just that they pay out less.
They pay out less.
The other affluent districts are the districts that gain the money. So Seminole does lose, but you know, for a district that, I mean, they're just across the river. I did an analysis of sales tax, and sales tax is the #1 revenue source for the state. You know, we don't have a state income tax, it's sales tax. We give more in sales tax money to the state of Florida than Seminole does. Okay, so when people talk about, well, these counties are economic engines for the state, well, we're an economic engine also. We do our share of sending money to Tallahassee, and we're not getting a whole lot back. The lottery, people talk about the lottery. The lottery started out fine. You know, back when we first got the lottery funds in 1993, we received $12 million in discretionary lottery funds. This year, in Volusia County, we have received $0 in lottery funds, because the lottery now has moved on. It's moved on to Bright Future scholarships. So if you're a parent that has a college-age student, you're happy because those students are getting it. And we're not begrudging that. The fact of the matter is that when the lottery was first proposed, it was for K-12 education. Now it's moved into other areas.
Yeah,
they also give funds, the lottery funds go to the school recognition dollars, which are for schools that either get an A or they improve in their grades. And so the faculty is able to receive a bonus for that. We cannot touch that money. That comes directly from the lottery. The lottery funds that we were able to use for anything, and at the time when we had it, we really used it for art and music in the elementary schools. That's all gone. We still have art and music in the elementary schools, but we're paying it out of our own budget. It's not the additional supplemental money that Tallahassee gave us for those programs. So, you know, I think one of the things that is being said right now, and against this millage, is that we have 7,400 employees in the county, in Volusia County Schools. 4,000 of those employees are teachers. So one of the things that our detractors are saying is, why are the other 3,400 outside of the classroom? You've got too much money outside of the classroom. Well, let's remember that it takes a lot more to run a school than just teachers. Teachers are very important, obviously. They're the heart and soul of the system. But we have clerks, we have custodians, we have assistant principals, we have principals, we have bus drivers that take the students back and forth. We have all kinds of personnel.
Schoolway Cafe.
Schoolway Cafe.
We feed all those children.
And you know, who pays the teachers? We have a payroll department. We have lots of things that we have to have in the district in order to continue to function. If we did not have it that way, we would be the only county in the United States, I would say, that put all of their money into the classroom, and there would be absolutely no other support. It's really somewhat ludicrous to say that we could put all of our money straight into the classroom, even though that's a wish list, but it's not realistic, because you do have to have a lot of support services that support the teachers.
Yeah, because otherwise your teachers wouldn't have time to teach, they'd be busy doing all of that other stuff.
And
that would be a waste, truly a waste.
And just to let you know, one of the cuts we made that I have many friends throughout the state, we actually have 10 schools in Volusia County that share principals. We have 10 elementary schools that share principals. That when I tell my colleagues around the state that we have, elementaries, we have 2 on the west side, Stark and Woodward, and the other 8 are on the east side, their mouths drop open. They've never heard of such a thing. We have cut wherever we can. We've cut 22 assistant principals. So think of our high schools are about, Spruce Creek, DeLand High, University High, are about the same size as Stetson University. Can you imagine Stetson not having the kind of support that we have in our high schools for the students, and the different challenges and rewards that we have within our system? So I think often people that are critical have not walked through and been part of the school system in a long time and just assume some things that aren't quite true.
And one of the things we were talking about earlier is that the school system is the size in population of the city of Daytona Beach. But you have so many more problems and issues. When I say problems, you have so much more needed in terms of your infrastructure because of what you were saying about transportation. Daytona Beach does not provide transportation. That's provided by the county.
We drive 4.5 million miles per year in this county. Imagine the diesel fuel bill that would incur. We serve 25,000 breakfasts every day, 42,000 lunches every day. And I think one of the things, we are an economic engine, and Robert gave this information to me. We spend $72 million within Volusia County alone, within the school district, to local vendors. And Robert, that doesn't include PTA, it doesn't include...
It doesn't include all of the booster clubs, the PTAs, all of the support groups that are in schools, whatever the teacher spends. Our employees and our parents and our children are consumers. And as Ms. Langford mentioned before about the canary in the mine, Volusia County Schools doesn't operate in a vacuum. We are a vital economic support mechanism for the county. And when you talk about 1 mil, and yes, this is not a good time to go to the voter for anything, and you mentioned the word taxes and people run. But if we don't have this kind of an increase, we are going to be facing even more devastating cuts. The same people that are out there being consumers, we will have less of them, and that will hurt the small businesses. everything is interconnected.
Right,
You know, the
absolutely.
heart and soul of what the state gives us in terms of funding, they call it the base student allocation. That's what they start off with. And then when you add in the portion of our taxes, and then they put in the categoricals, which are pupil transportation and instructional materials and things of that nature, that you can only use for that purpose. But you start off with the base student allocation. In 2002, well before the Great Recession, we received $3,537 as a base student allocation. In 2012-13, we received $3,582, just $65 more than we received in 2000 per student. And we all know that costs have gone up much higher than that. So
in a decade's time. So we're basically getting the same amount base student allocation that we did 10 years ago. And I just like to ask people, what do you have in your homes today that costs the same 10 years ago? I mean, food is more expensive, fuel is more expensive, all the health care is more expensive, all the things that we want a healthy, vibrant society to have is costing us more as well.
And why don't we ask that too of our parents out there, because they can relate, or the grandparents. There are a lot of grandparents out there too that are helping to raise the children. They're helping to meet their needs, and they know too that the cost of things that maybe someone did for them or they did for their young people when they were years back, you know, those costs have just skyrocketed in some cases, in some situations. And you know, the other thing that I say to parents, and I say to anybody, you know, having been a parent, and I'm still a parent, but my sons are older, much older now. But the truth is that we as parents take our children and we entrust them to the school system, you know, to the teachers and others that are taking care of the facilities and the like. And our children, our young precious ones are left there, you know, sometimes from 7 to I guess 3 or whatever that time frame is, and we're talking, I don't know, there are days that are shorter, but sometimes, you know, pretty much 5 days a week. And we expect that when we pick them up or they arrive home, that they're going to have a little more education, you know, and they're going to continually be developed, not only mentally, but, you know, also in terms of their physical being as well, because you've got all of those things that go into helping them to become that great and wonderful child that we want them to be. And the school system plays a major role in that.
And here's another big change from 2002 to currently. And you know, we really don't talk about this much, but that is the beginning of standardized testing. Now, I'm not against standardized testing. I think it's done a lot of good as far as being diagnostic, what we know. But think of the amount of testing and time that we now have to devote, and money. I wish one day I would like you to come into one of our big high schools and see the tests and the time that it takes to, you have to store them under lock and key. I mean, the whole way that we handle the testing mechanism within our state, the expense. You need a flotilla of people to, wasn't it, Robert, 4 semi-trucks with FCATs loading in our docks? I mean, so in this 10-year span, not only have we received the same amount of money that we did, there's a whole dynamic change that has gone, that has taken place within the education system itself, that is required and demanded more personnel handling this type of accountability, that the state and the federal government has said, you must do this.
And I'm sure when people hear this, especially those that are opposed to it, all they're going to hear is, as they said, excuses, excuses, excuses. But it's not excuses when it's reality. And it's the reality of what you're having to deal with. And it's unfortunate that at the same time that they're giving you not too much more, they're also coming up with ways that they can take some of the money that would have been coming to you and it goes elsewhere. And I'm talking charter schools, and there was another that you said was a corporation.
Corporate scholarships that go to students who attend private school, and the state gives them a tax break for that. Those are funds that could have come to the school system. And then the McKay Scholarship is also for the exceptional student education student who, if he or she chooses to be taught in a non-public school, we would have to pay the tuition for that. So all of those things are on the books. We have 58% of our total school population is in poverty. We have 56 Title I schools in this district, which are for students that are in poverty. We have, out of the 60,000 plus students, we have 15,000 students that are either ESE, exceptional student education, special needs,
15%?
or they first language is not English. Now that is much higher than Seminole County, and you know I don't say these things to go against whatever Seminole County is doing. Seminole County is a great district, but when you compare Seminole to us, and I know it sounds like an excuse, but the fact of the matter is Seminole has some tremendous advantages that this school system doesn't have. First of all, just with having 19 less buildings, and they're getting a better revenue stream than we are, their economy of scale is far better than ours. They have a lot more money to put into programs than we do. They can hire more teachers. They're in total compliance with the class size amendment. They have been from day one because they have the funds. And even with all of that, they still have problems, and they are going for the 1 mil. So when you talk about Seminole being so much better than Volusia, and they are an A district, and we have now unfortunately slipped to a C district.
The first time ever in the accountability scheme that we've ever been a C district. And I personally believe there's a correlation between the reductions that we have taken and the hit from the district cost differential that we've had. We know what to do, but the resources there to provide the intensive math and reading instruction, we've downsized counselors, psychologists, social workers, all the things that we need. We have 2,300 homeless students in Volusia County as well. These are things that impact what our children can achieve. We know how to, when we had the money we had, we were an A district. We were because we were able to provide those students the resources in order to enable them to achieve to their highest potential. And so it's very disheartening when we know what to do, but yet we can't provide those services.
Well, we talk about the FCAT, which, you know, I know a lot of...
Oops, I have to say you're listening to Truth with Gwen Azama-Edwards, my guest again, Candace Langford and Robert Mull. I got it right, okay. Volusia County School System, and we're talking about the referendum that is on your ballot for Volusia County Schools, and is asking you to approve an increase in the property taxes. How much is it? It's
1 mil. And also, just to tell you where it is, it's at the very end of the ballot. So it's on the very bottom. You're going to vote from the president down to your mayors, and then there are going to be 12 constitutional amendments right after the 12th amendment. This is where you will find our 1 mil referendum.
And I have told people to vote yes for the referendum. That's the last item on your ballot. Some of you have 4 pages of ballot issues, and some of you have 3. That's 3 pages, but they're front and back. So they're in total voting pages, you're looking at either 6 or 7 or 8, depending upon how many municipal items or issues are on your ballot. Again, I totally support this ballot issue. It is an investment in our school system. It's an investment in our community, and as been stated, you know, what is available at the school system in terms of whatever their expenditures and the like are, that a lot of that also seeps into the community and helps employers and businesses, especially small businesses, to be able to keep their doors open as well. So we're all interdependent, and we're all a part of this this great opportunity. I see it as an opportunity, not just a challenge, but it's an opportunity to actually invest and give back and help our Volusia County school system. A system that has been trying to do not only the best it can with what it has, and you know, some of you out there might say, well, they've got, what is it, about $1 billion budget?
No, it's much lower than that.
766.
We're under 800 million.
Ah, okay, because a while, what was
We
it?
were
You
1.2 at one point.
When I
at the
first
time.
started, it was 1.2.
Wow, so it has dropped. And as I mentioned, charter schools, so there are, how many charter schools
Well,
do we have
right
in the
now,
county?
and that's another thing in terms of when we compare with Seminole County. Seminole County has 3 charter schools, and Volusia County, this year, we started off with 9, and 1 charter school was closed down, so we now have 8. When a charter school opens, and they are considered public schools, and we count them in our staffing and in our funding, we have to give them their share of our budget to operate their schools, and they have a lot more autonomy to use their funds than we do. I mean, the state pretty much gives them carte blanche opportunity to use their funds any way they want.
And
So-
it's like private schools who don't have to do the testing
Correct.
that public schools are required to
Right.
do. They don't have
don't
the
have the
heavy
same-
regulations
They
or
don't have the
anything.
accountability system that we have.
Right,
But we
right.
do demand that the charter schools do the testing.
The
That's
charter
one
schools
thing.
do have to do FCAT and all those
Mhm.
things.
The school board does have to approve the charter school, and that's one thing that we do require is the testing. But as far as everything else, in terms of whatever other thing they want to do, it's totally up to the charter.
And how much money did you tell me? How many
13 million this year is what we transferred to the charter schools. And we're looking at 1 additional charter school for next year. That'll be the extension of the Milburn Academy, which right now is a 9 to 12 charter school.
For
And they-
at-risk students.
For at-risk students, and they will now expand to the middle school side, and they will have grades 6, 7, and 8, so that's an additional charter. And there's also a charter that was unsuccessful with us in the application, however, it is now in court, and it is a Florida virtual charter. And so, we don't know the outcome of that.
It's not Florida Virtual School,
No,
so
no, it's not-
it's
it's
not
not
the one
Florida.
that's already, that we're all part of.
Right, it's
It's
not the
different.
statewide Florida virtual, it is a Florida virtual charter, a local charter that wants to come into Volusia. And they also applied in Seminole and Orange and Duval, and all of the districts felt that the application was weak, and we all rejected the application. It was approved, or our rejection was sustained by the Charter Commission, but then the State Board of Education overturned their decision, and now the case is being looked at in court. So we'll see where that goes. But we could have an additional 2 charters next year, so that would bring us up to 10.
And which is more money than.
Which is more money that we have to give to
Counted
those
against
charters.
them.
That is correct.
And I don't want the time to go past without, as we're talking about money that's actually seeping out of the Volusia County school system, there is an amendment that is on the ballot that will have an impact, a financial impact on the school system as well, and that's Amendment 8.
Amendment 8, and it's really quite interesting because it's called the Religious Freedom Amendment, which I find duplicitous, because it really has nothing to do with religious freedom. I think it has to do with religious funding. Gwen, I just want to tell you right up front, I'm Catholic. I went to Catholic school as a child, and the Catholic bishops have voted in concert to support this.
I could not believe actually seeing an ad by a Catholic priest, I guess he was, saying that you should vote in support of whatever. And that is the first time I have ever, maybe it's happened before, I've never seen it before.
It's really, it's really rather interesting. I think around statewide Catholic enrollment in their schools has gone down 15% because of the recession, and so that's part of it. But I just want to if I may, give you some background on this. This is, right now, it's, the reason it's called the Religious Freedom Amendment, it's because it's under that part of the Constitution. So whatever part of the Constitution it's under, they chose to take that. Because it was challenged, and the judge said, no, that's the part of the Constitution which this paragraph is taken from, so okay, because the initial amendment, Amendment 7, was thrown out of the Constitution. So that's why you actually have 11 amendments, but they're numbered through 12. So what this says, the the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution and the Florida Constitution has the same first sentence. There shall be no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting or penalizing the free exercise thereof. So they call that the Establishment and Free Exercise Clause. Where we differ as a state is we have in our Constitution a higher threshold, if you will, of separation of church and state.
Mm-hmm.
And what it currently says is no revenue of the state or any political subdivision or agency thereof shall ever be taken from the public treasury directly or indirectly in the aid of any, and this is important, in the aid of any church, sect, or religious denomination, or in any aid of any sectarian institution. So they are striking that language, and they're replacing it with the language that says, after the sentence, religious freedom shall not justify practices inconsistent with public morals, peace, or safety, and then except to the extent required by the First Amendment to the United States Constitution, neither the government nor any agent of the government may deny to any individual entity the benefits of any program, funding, or other support on the basis of religious identity or belief. So what they're, in my mind, they're opening up Pandora's box, because now who is going to define what is or is not a religion? Who is going to make that definition? So yeah, we're all comfortable with the Baptist Church, the Catholic Church, the Episcopal Church, the Methodist churches, our temples, receiving those funds. That's where our comfort zone may be. However, that isn't what this says. Any church, any sect, any religious denomination will now be eligible for funding. Now, the other side also says, but wait a minute, that means that our hospitals can't provide services, or VPK can't provide services, or soup kitchen. That's bogus, because they have always provided services, and they will continue to provide services. The only thing, they can't proselytize while they're providing the services, and at the end of the day, they're doing good for the community. I mean, why would you turn that around? But see, the money has gone to this. If a church is running a VPK program, the money goes to the school. Well, now this money would go directly to the church. So there's a big difference there. This is opening up Pandora's box. And Tax Watch, which is a nonpartisan group in the state of Florida, Dominic Calabro gave a presentation on another amendment, and I won't go into that. But he said, and I thought it was very profound, when in doubt, keep it out. Mm-hmm. And what this amendment does, I think it's very similar to 1991 when Save Our Homes was passed, and everyone thought this was going to be a panacea for our property taxes, and it's been a nightmare, because it's allowed all these crazy things to happen with just value and market value, and it can only go up 3% except if the values go down. And so this will do the same thing. This is an amendment, and not one of the 11 amendments that are on your ballot have been instituted by grassroots. Every one has been legislatively put on the ballot. So I am also voting no on all the amendments. When in doubt, keep it out, and when you see religious freedom, think religious funding. And you're not going to be in charge of which religion will get that money, nor will they have the accountability we have with those dollars for education. This is a voucher amendment in sheep's clothing. Mm-hmm. And regardless of how you feel about vouchers, regardless of how you feel about it, you will still not be able to control who may not get that money.
And were they to say that, okay, you know, this group can't get it or that group can't get it, they're not a religion, whatever, what will end up happening is that it will end up in court.
Absolutely.
Which means that you've got a lot of wasted dollars that could have gone to education that are now going to the court system. And that, I agree with you, it does open up Pandora's box, such that anything and everything can say that it's a religion and that they want money. And they will be hard-pressed to not give it to them with that language removed from the Constitution. So I'm glad to hear that you agree with me that we should not be supporting any of these amendments, because It sounds good, it looks good, but it's not good for you in any of the amendments. But we are saying to you that in terms of the school board referendum, that's the last item on your ballot, that you should
After
vote
the amendments.
yes, after the amendments.
Before the city charter things.
Okay, that you should vote for that. And it's called a referendum.
It's called a referendum.
It's called a referendum.
Not an amendment.
Right.
Gwen, in 2001, our voters, our citizens, supported the half-penny sales tax, which is still in place until 2016. We've built many beautiful schools. We've renovated many beautiful schools. We've put in schools that the entire community can be very proud of. In 2010, as we mentioned before, the voters voted for the $250,000. And these were not easy votes because it's extra money for the district and it's costing the taxpayer. We understand that, but it shows the value that everyone has placed on education. I just want to leave the listeners with this one thought. We currently, as I said before, receive $3,583 per student from the state. Right now, the state pays for every prison inmate in the state of Florida $19,600. I would say that if we invested our money up front and educated our students and kept them on the right path, and even Thomas Jefferson and our founding fathers, John Adams, said, spare no expense with public education, that we would prevent a lot of the behaviors that occur later on in life, because when a person is not well educated, they are going to seek a different path, and usually that path won't be a very good one. It'll probably be something that is going to go into more into the antisocial path. So I leave everyone with that thought, that we spend so much in the prison system, and yet we scrimp and we argue and we point fingers and everything else at public education, which is receiving $3,583 per student.
And surely our children, you know, every human being is worthy of support and help to the extent that it's needed, but surely we want to provide that kind of investment in our children as much and as important as we do for, you know, others.
Well, may I just give everyone a website to
Yes,
go to
please.
get more information? It's myvolusiaschools.org, and that's all one word, myvolusiaschools.org/1. You'll find the link there to the $1 million referendum. So myvolusiaschools.org, and Google it, and it will take you to our homepage, and you will find the link to our $1 million.
We have all kinds of information there. We even have a sample ballot for the listeners. But everything that they wanted to know about our school system is there. And as Ms. Langford said before, we are totally transparent. All of our budgets are online in the finance section. Everything that someone wants to know about is there, and they can certainly call my office if they have any questions at all. Robert Moll, M-O-L-L. They can call my office, and we can continue to discuss this if they have further questions.
Do you want to give them that number?
Okay, the school board number is 734-7190, and my extension is 20387. 20387.
Okay, wonderful. And I like what you have here that's saying that this school tax referendum will be used to support academic programs, retain teachers, support the arts, athletics, and student activities. And all of those things are key and important to helping our young people. It's an investment in them, it's an investment in their future, it's an investment in giving them what they need for their present as well. And, you know, we who are parents, we who were, you know, parents of younger people, and now they're older, you know, they're adults now. We who are grandparents, I'm not yet, but I'm still prayerful. You know, all of us who have a tie or a link with a young person, we know how important it is to show them that we care, to show them that they are important to us. And we do that by our actions, not just our words. So we need to show our young people that their development, their education is important. is as important as anything that we could possibly do in investing in our community, by investing in our young people. So it is our hope and our desire that all of you will vote yes in support of the school tax referendum, and that you will find that on your ballot, and you know, after you vote for president, you know, go to that as the next item. Because even though I don't tell people to skip around, those are some long ballots, and you know, I feel for you guys, I really and truly do. But vote for those things that are key and important, that you know already how you're going to vote for, and then go through those other items that are there. And it is our hope and our belief that a vote for Volusia County school system, a vote for our youth, is an important vote. And it's a vote where you will never ever have to regret having made it, okay? I know sometimes we vote and we get regretful, but that's one you will not have to regret.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both. Thank you both for coming on. And again, do go to the website where you can find out more information. Is there when you go to, this is myvolusiaschools.org.
Correct.
And then there's a link there for more information.
It's right on the front page.
It says
Okay.
1 mil.
Okay, and we should mention too, because you got the support of all of these different groups, which is kind of amazing in itself. The Chamber of Commerce is in support.
Beach, correct.
The Daytona Beach Chamber of Commerce. The Speedway is in support of it. They're a large employer. Brown & Brown is in support. I know there are others.
We have Futures, of course.
Yes.
And there are many other individuals out there. Richie Auto. There are many groups and individuals.
And are your PTAs and PTOs in support of this as well?
Absolutely, PTA is, the SAC committees, absolutely. They have been very, and in fact, there's a PAC that's been put together, Citizens for Excellent Schools, and they are also supporting this, and they are, since we cannot and will not spend any taxpayers' dollars to do any promoting of this with materials, they help do that. So you will start to see yard signs and those kinds of things out and about from this group for Citizens for Excellent Schools. It's good that you mentioned that, because the first thing someone sees it and they will say, oh, see, this is why they need it, because they want. Not a penny.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you both for coming on, and I do appreciate all the information that you have shared, and I know our listeners appreciate it as well. And Candace, there is an event coming up that you're going to be a part of. Is it on Monday? And Dr. Mull as well, Monday. Okay. So it's going to be a pros and cons. It's called the Schnibley Center. And from 6:30 to 7:30, and the Volusia Tax Reform and the Volusia County School Board, Dr. Mull, Stan Schmidt, and myself will have a panel with Steve Koenig, who is, I know, Bel Air Community Group Chair, and he's also President-elect of the Realtors Association this year. So he's going to be moderating the panel. Okay, wonderful. So come on. Yeah, so if you want more, you want to hear more, if you're like me, you'll be on headed up to here, but if you do want to hear more, that's at the Schnibley Center, which is in Daytona Beach on A1A, Atlantic Avenue, and it's close to, about probably half a mile less or short of Bel Air Plaza. Is that north of Bel Air Plaza? Is it north or south? It's south of Bel Air Plaza. Okay. Yeah, but it's about half a mile maybe or so, just south of Bel Air Plaza. But that's Monday, and you say the time is 6:30 to 7:30. 6:30 to 7:30. Okay. Well, again, we want to thank everyone for listening. Thank you guys for coming on board. I just want to remind you, as I started out saying, that my recommendation to you, I know you hear from a lot of people, but you know I'm somebody who will tell it like it is, and that is that you should not vote in support of any of the constitutional amendments. Vote no on all of the constitutional amendments. As has been stated, they're numbered 1 through 12, but number 7 was pulled, so there actually are 11. And they are there in total on your ballots. That is why your ballots are so long. So please be sure to find where you vote yes or no, and vote no on those amendments. Also, I am recommending that in terms of those the Supreme Court judicial candidates that are there, they are not candidates, they actually are already in office, that you vote in support of retaining them. They have done an outstanding job, they are deserving of your support, so vote yes in terms of that. And with the Volusia County School Board referendum, the property tax referendum, we're saying that you should vote yes in support of that. Now, I'm going to excuse my guest because I'm also going to add a couple other things that, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, I appreciate you guys so much. And that is just to mention just a couple of things to you guys in terms of your voting. You're voting your ballot. Those of you who have already voted, again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Those of you who are still waiting and trying to decide how you want to vote, I just want to say to you that in terms of beyond the amendments, beyond the ballot issues that are there, I would ask that you look for, in your candidates, you look for honesty, you look for integrity, and you look for heart, someone who has a heart for the people. And as such, I'm asking that you not only support our current president, President Barack Obama, but that you also support Heather Bevin for Congress, that you support Carl Persis for Volusia County Chair. And there's a friend of mine, for those of you who reside in the Zone 4 for the city of Daytona Beach, that you support Tom Costa, who is running for City Commissioner Zone 4. Now, I know there are other candidates that are on the ballot. There are others that you have heard about. There are others who have money that can show, a lot in terms of commercials and this and that and the other. And, I could tell you if you call me or contact me who you should vote in terms of that. But I really and truly believe that this is, every election we say is one of the most important elections you can ever deal with. This truly is an important election. We were just informed that Colin Powell is now backing Barack Obama, President Barack Obama. There are reasons to retain this president. I am truly, I have to say this, just shocked by the apparent, I just have to call it what it is, lies that have been told to us through commercials, through debates and the like, just truly bald-faced lies that have been told by candidates. And they know that as soon as if you put them into office, they're going to go back to thinking and saying exactly what they were saying before they started telling the lies to convince you to vote for them. And they really and truly think that you are that, I have to say this too, stupid. That you do not remember what they've said over the years, that you do not recall their stands on various issues. And the fact that the media is helping to promote these same lies, I find offensive, and hopefully you do too. And hopefully what you will do is go back and, if you're not convinced that some of these things are lies, go back and do your research and look at what some of these candidates have said in the past and what they're saying now, just to get your vote. A person, my mom always said this, and I believe it is true, a person who will lie will do anything, will stoop to do anything. And I'm just appalled at not only the fact that they lie to us directly, but the fact that they will also and have also garnered the support of the media who know better, who help promote the same lies and walk step in line with all of that. It's appalling to me. I find it very, very offensive that someone would think that any of us would be that ignorant and have such short memories of what has occurred and what has been stated over the past. So it is my hope and it is my prayer that when all is said and done, that we as a nation and as people with heart and people who care about each other, it is my hope that we do, that we will vote our hearts. You don't have to vote in support of what I'm saying, but please vote, because when, this election is over And when all is said and done, my hope and prayer is that we can and will all come together as a people of these United States, and stand united and be united in working together and coming together to help this country to be the best that it can be. And a house divided cannot and will not stand. Irrespective of how we're divided, whether it's in terms of race or religion or ethnicity, anything, everything, a house divided cannot and will not stand. We give in to the enemy when we stand separate and apart. So it is my hope that we can and will come together. And please, 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 if you're registered, please vote. If you know of others who have a desire to vote, but for whatever reason, you know, they can't get to the polls, we know that Votran will be providing rides to the polls, to your precincts on election day. You know that early voting starts this Saturday. So it's my hope that those of you who have not already voted, that you would either go to vote early voting, and you can go to the supervisor of elections office if you want to avoid all the candidates, you know, harassing you, which is what they do. Or if, you know, you can go there and get your ballot and vote your ballot. I'm told too that if you want to pick up a ballot for someone, that they will be mailing them out to other people up until 5 days before the election. And then 5 days before the election, during that time period, you can physically pick up a ballot for someone else. But understand that you're only allowed to pick up for someone that you've been given permission and authority to pick up for them. And they limit that, as they limit the number that you can request, because you can only request for 2, and they have to be a relative or the like. So please, please, please vote. Please don't discourage others from voting. We know there's, I mean, the kinds of things that are going on now to disenfranchise voters. You know, if you want to win on the merits, win on issues, but don't win because you have snookered somebody or stole somebody's opportunity from voting, and truly, through legal or illegal means, disenfranchise a voter from that opportunity. That's not what America is about. It's not what we're about as a people. And, you know, there are those who want to say that President Obama is the individual who has made this country divisive. That is not true. If anything, he's tried to bring us together and to pull us together. And we've got to start looking beyond the color of skin and look inside, inward, to the heart. That's what Martin Luther King's message was about. That's what so many people who care about us as a people, that's what their message is about. So it is my hope that you will join me in looking for honesty, integrity, and heart, and that you will support the re-election of our President Barack Obama, that you will support Heather Bevin for Congress, that you will support Carl Persis for Volusia County Chair, and that you will support those of you in Zone 4 for Daytona Beach, will support Tom Koska for Daytona Beach City Commissioner, Zone 4. You've been listening to Truth with Gwen Azama-Edwards. My guests were Candace Langford and Robert Mull, and with the Volusia County School System, sharing information with you about the referendum that is on the ballot, and it is our hope that you will support that referendum as well. Vote yes for that property tax increase. That is an investment in our young people and in our community. And that you will vote no on, these are my comments now, we will vote no on all of the amendments, all of the constitutional amendments, no on all of them, all 11 of them. And that you will vote yes for the retention of the 3 Supreme Court judges, and that you will vote for those things and those people that will truly help this community, and that is what I've just shared with you. Again, you can listen to Truth with Gwen Azama-Edwards. Please continue to listen to us every Thursday starting at 6:15 as we share with you information that will help you to be informed, be empowered, and stand tall for that which is right and truthful. Again, this is Truth with Gwen Azama-Edwards. Like you, like our guests, like all of those who are voting, we're still standing. You be blessed and have a great week.
Exclusively every Thursday night on WELE 1380 Radio, Ormond Beach, Florida.
bless you all.